Beautiful people, welcome back to another video. For those new here, Peter, some call me Pilot Pete. I'm a Boeing 767 pilot, and as you can tell, we're dressed in the flight uniform because we're heading out. It's gonna be a long 5-day trip for me. It's been a minute since I did that. It started yesterday, the first of the week on Monday, with a deadhead to my favorite place to start trips, Newark Airport. So for me, that meant a day off. We went to the gym, we hung out with the GF, we went for a run, got some work done, and now bright and early, currently 6:30, Uber is ordered, and I actually just got a notification, it's on its way. Headed to Newark Airport. We got 2 legs today. Newark, Indy, with a day sit there, 7 hours, so hotel room provided. And then we're heading to Philly to end the evening. So as always, if you wanna come along for the ride, let's go do it. One of the sad parts about being an airline pilot though, you gotta say goodbye to those you know and love for an extended period of time. And I'll be gone for 5 days for work, and then SJ heads off to a bachelorette party girl down to Miami, so we won't see each other for a week. So bye, Sonia. A beautiful good morning from Newark, New Jersey. We just pre-flighted the 767. We're flying Miss Charity today, which is kind of a funny name for me. If you know, you know. If you don't know, then you don't know. Either way, 767's all set to head over to Indianapolis. Pretty short flight, 1 hour and 45 minutes blocked at. I'm happy to report Newark runway are both back open. So if you saw the last vlog when I flew out of Newark, 22 right and 4 left were closed. I was like 50 for takeoff, took over an hour to get out of here. But like I said, they're both back open. They're departing the 22s down there, so it'll be a little bit of a longer taxi for us. But as you can see, not much traffic. We got an Airbus taxiing in, looks like a 319, and we'll depart runway 22 right at intersection Whiskey per the ATIS. Just met with the captain, flown with him before, great guy. I'll be with him today and tomorrow. Wait, today, tomorrow. I forget if this is a 2-day one or not. Either way, I'll be with him for this leg and the next leg for sure. Not sure who's gonna take us out of Newark to Indy. Stay tuned for that. Hopefully it's my leg. But either way, I'll get a flying leg in on our short trip today because, like I said, we're going here to Indy, 7-hour layover, and then Indy to Philly. So I'll take one of the two. Hour 45 en route. Let's go fly. From Indianapolis, Indiana. We ended up doing what some captains do. He asked me what leg I wanted, this one or the next one to Philly. I said, I don't care, it doesn't matter. So we let fate decide. We grabbed the MCP, trying to see if there's a cockpit mock-up here. There's not. But basically the heading bug that turns the airplane to different headings, he's like, call odd or even. I said even. He spins it, and then whatever it lands on. An even number, my leg, odd number, his leg. So it landed on even, it was my leg. And it was a nice short flight from Newark to Indy. Quick debrief before I head to my hotel. So we started in Newark Airport, got pushed back out of our gate, and then taxied via Charlie intersection via Bravo taxiway, and then Bravo turns into Romeo here for departure of 22 right at intersection Whiskey. Cleared for takeoff, 0 line, and it was my departure. Like I said, it was my leg. We flew the Newark 5 departure, which I've done, I don't know, over 200 times at this point. You fly runway heading, then you turn again, and right away, before we even climb to our top altitude of 2,500 per the departure, New York Tracon gave us climb maintain 10,000 direct to Zims. Where's Zims? Our first point right up here to get us en route. Good weather day, no bumps, no clouds. No issues departing. Like I said, the flight went pretty quick. Had some of my catering on board, a little muscle milk, a little fruit, not too shabby. We briefed the arrival into Indy. It was the Snake Pit 2 RNAV arrival, and then we flew over these points. VNAV took care of it, and then actually right around Babney at 15,000 feet, Indy approach said to intercept the localizer for runway 23 left at Larry. So we had it all plugged in. Larry is the last point on the arrival and the first point on the ILS. So it works out great. Visual to 23 left and landed runway 23 left, exited the high speed at Delta 7. First landing in a couple days, 23 left, and folks, one of my better ones in a long time. I hand flew it from like 1,000 feet, power reduction right over the threshold, on speed, on altitude. It was a flaps 30 landing. I didn't bring the performance data with us, but as we're up there at cruise putting in our performance data, based on the temperature outside, because it's like 96 degrees Fahrenheit here in Indy, the brakes heat up if you use them too much. So long story short, the more flaps you have, the slower your approach speed, the less energy the brakes are going to use, the less hot they get. So our ACARS data, our performance data came back and said, hey, we recommend you use flaps 30 with the temperature, because since the airplane is turning quickly in a couple hours, it would be better for the brakes to have less energy, less heat. And if you could, use flaps 30, we recommend it. It's a recommendation, we're not required to, but saw that message, yeah, I'll do flaps 30. I very rarely do flaps 30 anyway, so it was a good little practice. Did flaps 30, and maybe I start going to flaps 30, because landing grade, we're gonna go with a 9.7 out of 10. You really can't get much better. It was right on the 1,000-foot markers, right on speed, smooth as could be. We had 2 jump seaters, one from my own company, one from a different company heading home. They both were like nice landing. Captain obviously said nice landing as well. And yeah, it felt good. Sight picture was perfect. Was easy conditions though, light winds, so nothing too much to brag about. But I'll brag about it because I want to brag about it. 767 landing, 9.7, and now we got about 6.5 hours for a layover. I'm gonna head to the hotel, get some food, get a run in. I got a little meeting, and we'll get a non-negotiable run done, hopefully here. It's hot though, so we'll probably do it in the treadmill, but either way, trip is off to a great start. Even though this video is coming out a couple days, if not weeks after the news, for those who don't know, the founder of our company, Mr. Fred Smith, passed away, and he's the one who literally created not only the company I work for, but the industry as a whole. No one ever did overnight shipping. No one ever did the logistics that he created, and it's really cool when I travel around the world, in small parts of the world, and you see the trucks or the vans or sometimes like these buggies with the company name on it. You're like, wow, this guy really did spread his vision literally all over the world, pretty much on every continent, every country. It's pretty remarkable to think that one person could have that vision and create it, and then obviously lean on a lot of people to help it come to life. So I personally never got to meet him, unfortunately. I really wanted to. I've read one or two of books that he's written in and spoken in, so it was kind of saddened that I never got to meet him, shake his hand, and tell him, hey, thanks for the job, right? Thanks for the new industry, because without him I wouldn't have the job that I currently have right now. But yeah, rest in peace to him, Mr. Smith. From everyone I've talked to and all the pilots, specifically who I've flown with, who said they had met him, said he was an awesome gentleman, an awesome leader, an awesome person to work for. So I just want to jump on there and throw that in there. But we're in Indy, gonna go get some food and then get our non-negotiable run in. I don't know if I'm gonna do it outside because it's literally 97 degrees. So we'll either do it outside or we'll find a treadmill and get it done that way. Just cranked out an hour, 20 minutes on the treadmill. That's miserable. I hate running on the treadmill, but when it's 100 degrees outside, you don't really have much of a choice. So we got it done. You already know, folks, it's non-negotiable. Quick shower, and I'll see you guys here on the outside heat Indianapolis ramp. Beautiful people from the ramp in hot, sunny, 100-degree weather, Indianapolis. Holy cow. Every time I'm here, it's freezing. So this is a slight change of pace. It is so freaking hot out. The whole Northeast is getting slammed with hot weather. So I won't make this long. Jump up to the cool flight deck where the APU's on, blasting cold air. We got a short flight. We're going pretty much back to where we started. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania will be the captain's leg. I'll be the pilot monitoring. But just one quick thing. People are always asking me the difference between flying cargo, passengers, which one do I like better, why? Look, I love my job, and I love the fact, like, just today's a perfect example. I had a 15-hour duty day or whatever it was, but most of it was spent in a hotel room, working out, getting food, doing other productive stuff. I had to fly 2 quick legs today, so a lot of my friends who work for different airlines that you know and love, when they have a 14-hour duty day, they're doing 3-4 legs a day. So I really like the structure here. I love the 767. Obviously, I want to do more international flying, go to cooler places, but can't complain when half of your day is spent in a hotel, doing other stuff, being productive, getting food, all that good stuff. So last leg of the day, let's go to Philly. So we're loaded, ready to go, but got some maintenance issues. It's so freaking hot that the lower cargo department is showing that it's overheating because it's over 100 degrees outside and inside it's like 110 degrees. So that's why I'm out of the uniform. That's another nice thing about flying boxes. They don't stare at you. So the captain took his off. I followed suit because it was literally 40 degrees Celsius in the flight deck, even with the APU blasting cold air. That's how freaking hot it is. And as you know, once it's so hot, it's hard to actually cool it down. So we're actually up in the air. So maintenance is on board right now, trying to figure out exactly either how to solve the problem, write it off, or they're talking that they might have to transload. That's when they take everything off this plane, find a new airplane somewhere else, like over there, and we have to pre-flight that and then go to Philly. So we'll see how long we're here for. Hopefully not too much longer. Starting to cool down a little bit finally because the APU's kicking, but holy cow, yeah, airplanes, when it's 100 and plus degrees out, sitting in the hot sun, they heat up even more. It's they don't like it very much. So hopefully we'll get out of Indy sometime soon. All right, folks, bad news. There's our old airplane, currently being offloaded. They're gonna have to reload this airplane. It broke, they couldn't fix the problem. So they do what's called a transload, where they, it sounds exactly what it is. They're offloading that airplane. They found a new 7.6 sitting here on the ramp, and we'll take this to Philly. But so we're obviously going to be delayed, like I was saying, and then people always ask if pilots and crew dislike delays as much as passengers. The answer is yes, right? Because my dinner plans are messed up, my workout schedule, now my sleep, so it is what it is. Folks, we finally made it to the city of brotherly love, Philly. Oh man, what a long evening that was. Honestly, wouldn't have been too bad if it wasn't literally 100 degrees outside. So basically what happened, trying to keep you updated as best I could, but the cargo floor heat was overheating, just the area where the containers are. So can't go, no-go item with the deferral, and they were able to fix it. So we're gonna do a transload, which is just basically a fancy way of saying, hey, we're taking airplane A off the market and we're gonna have you guys fly airplane B. And kudos to the maintenance crew, and even more so to the rampers, the guys and girls who unload, all the materials and cargo and then upload it to another airplane across the ramp in that heat. So really kudos to them. And honestly, I never get upset or mad at any of it because it's part of life. I'll never understand pilots or even passengers for that matter when things like break down and there's delays. Like, yeah, it's okay to be frustrated, I guess. Like if you're just like, oh, bummer, I have to sit on the tarmac a little bit longer, but it's obviously out of everyone's control. No one wants it. The company, it costs the company money. It causes delays down the road. The pilots don't want it. We're freaking hungry, sweaty, tired, just want to go to bed, get to our layover city. Maybe we had plans that we can no longer attend to. And then all of the crew, right? They just want to get on the road and get going. So if ever you're at the airport and the pilot or the flight attendant, don't take it out on them, the gate agent. It's not their fault. They don't want, weather, maintenance. These machines are very complex. Obviously, things are going to falter here and there. But again, proud of the team. Captain did a great job communicating like, hey, you still fit to fly, because we're running into our duty time. It's just past 10:30 right now. We just got back to our hotel and we started the day at 7 a.m. So there's duty limits that come into play. But either way, we got done safely. I'm pretty tired, but I'm starving. I haven't had dinner yet, so gonna have to go find some late night eats. Probably won't be a Philly cheesesteak because I think they're all closed. And then I gotta take a shower because sweated through multiple undershirts, it felt like, with that heat. But again, maintenance, awesome job. Ramp crew, awesome job. Flight crew, operations, dispatch, everyone just works together. It's kind of cool to be part of that team. So we got here safely, landed 27 right. Wasn't supposed to be a night flight, but it turned into one. And like I said, I'm pretty tired. So quick shower, some food, hopefully something's still open, and then we'll get to bed and bright and early tomorrow. Beautiful people, good morning from Philadelphia ramp. We're just getting set to head to Memphis, and so I have a little update. Basically, since we're gonna have a super short layover and fatigue was gonna be a potential factor, the company was nice enough and gracious enough to push our showtime back. So we were able to get actually like a full layover as far as like rest. I got probably 7.5 hours of sleep, feeling good. So all that does is when I land in Memphis here, which is my next leg, Philly to Memphis, instead of having like a 4-hour, 5-hour kind of turn time to work out, eat, do the things, that's gotta be compressed now to like 2.5 hours. So pros and cons obviously to both of those, but I'm happy for it because I really needed this sleep. I'll just figure out a time to work out once we land back in Philly. But still hot in the Northeast, almost 100 degrees. The sun is bright, it is shining. It's gonna be just over 2 hours, like 2 hours and 30, I guess just over, like 2 hours and 40-ish minutes. We're going westbound, so we're gonna be flying an even altitude. It should be my leg, but based on I flew first and the captain, now it should be my turn. But it's actually the same captain I fly back to Philly later today. So he might say, hey, let me fly to Memphis, then I'll fly. You can fly back to Philly since he landed in Philly last night. But glad we're back on track, back on the time zone, got my sleep, feeling good. Although the food I had in Philly last night, no bueno. No bueno. I went to some place called like Hatch and Coop. No good. Drunk, like college food, I think is how they described it. And I'm a sober professional that's not in college anymore, so it wasn't my favorite. But either way, gonna fire up the APU here, hopefully get the cool air in the cockpit soon. Next stop, Memphis. Greetings from Memphis, Tennessee. We just landed runway 36 right. It was my leg, and landing wasn't as good as the last one. I think the last one was 9 something. We're gonna go with 7.8, a little firm, touchdown a little bit harder than I would have liked to, but it happens, folks, it happens. So we'll improve, don't worry. But we're in the sleep room of Memphis. I showed Indianapolis a couple of vlogs ago. This is the Memphis one, more of the same stuff, little chair or fan, mirror to get ready, wake up phone if you need a sleep reminder, but daytime I'll be fine. Little shelf, and like I said, a little bed to get some rest. I won't be needing it though. It's almost 12 noon and our show time's 2:45, so only got like 2.5 hours. Gonna change out of this, comfy clothes, kind of helps break up the day. Go get some food, grab my car. I haven't seen my I haven't seen my airport car in a minute, so hopefully it starts up. It's 100 degrees here in Memphis as well, so I'm hoping the AC works. I did get a new car. I didn't get a new car. My brother-in-law gave me his car because he got a new car, and that should solve the problem of the AC. But I wanted to show you the taxi out. Good flight overall, but the taxi out in freaking Philly. Hold on a second. So we're taxiing, or getting ready to taxi, I should say. We're pushing back from our gate here, gate number 4, and we planned on runway 27 left via the ATIS information. So the weather was telling us that we were taking off at 27. So normally our taxi is like Kilo, Yankee, Sierra, and then depending if they're using full length, Sierra 1 or one of the intersections because it's such a long runway. But as we pushed, ground called us, ground control in Philly, and said, hey, we're switching the runways up. You're going to be departing runway 27 right over here. No problem. I just changed the FMS box and our departure. It's very, very simple. It takes about a minute if you know what you're doing. And then on taxi instructions, we figured, okay, we're going to get Juliet or Kilo and then head all the way down to 27 right with clearance across this runway. Well, that did not happen. We were told to taxi via Kilo 7, Kilo, hold short of Quebec, which is right here. Okay, no problem. As we got to Quebec, they said, as we were approaching, actually, even over beforehand, they said, turn right on Tango, cross 27 right, then left on Papa. So we did that, thinking, okay, we'll go all the way to Papa, and then we'll cross, and then we'll get to 27 right, because there was an aircraft holding short here for a gate. That's why they're probably getting us out of the way. But as we're taxiing on Papa, they're like, hey, make a right on November, left on Sierra, left on Foxtrot, right on Papa, Echo, Sierra to cross down to 27 right. We're like, what the heck? No construction, no NOTAMs, no aircraft in the way. So the captain and I were just like, what the heck? So a 2-minute taxi became like a 15-minute taxi to 27 right. Now, I have no backup to this. This is purely Pilot Pete conspiracy, but I almost think that the air traffic controller knew who I was and maybe he wanted to mess with me. Now, I don't think that was actually the case, but we were like, why can't we just go straight on Papa to get to our runway 5 minutes faster? Either way, we did it. It kept us alert. We got to make sure we did the right instructions. Pilots will tell you one of the hardest things about flying airliners is the taxi instructions, especially at complex airports. Philly, not that bad. JFK, Atlanta, LAX, O'Hare especially, they can get pretty freaking crazy, and there's a lot of pilot deviations that happen during taxi. So it helps the moving map, making sure both pilots are heads up and following the instructions and know exactly where they're supposed to be going. So 2.5 hours, I got the workout clothes on, food first, car first, food second, and then hopefully there's time for the gym. We'll see. And then we'll get ready for our return flight back to Philly. Ladies and gentlemen, from under the wing of the 767 in Memphis, sweaty again. This is not the trip to only bring one pilot uniform because it's definitely getting its use. It is hot, another 100-degree weather day here in Memphis, Tennessee. We just pre-flighted the 767. We're going back to the city of brotherly love, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. I'm gonna be pilot monitoring, and oh boy, am I ready to be done for the day. Long, long day it feels like. Just doing these hub turns throughout the day always makes it a little bit longer, having to stop, get back to work. But I got to sneak in a little workout, a little shoulders. You already know it's non-negotiable. And when we get to Philly today on time, the restaurant should be open, so I should be able to get some decent food tonight, eat a normal meal, and keep the ball rolling. Maybe get it running. We'll see how I feel. Probably not, but let's go to Philly. back in a very familiar place, the city of brotherly love, Philly. We made it. Actually, it was my leg. So per normal, it's usually Captain FO, but you heard me say the other day, the captain flew to Philly yesterday. He's like, well, I don't want to fly to Philly again. You flew to Memphis today. So long story short, he let me take this leg to Philly, and then he'll fly to Memphis tomorrow, and that's the last flight him and I will have together. But good flight. A little late leaving Memphis because we had to get an alternate airport. So for those who don't know what an alternate is, you fly from A to B, and then if the weather's going to be bad or is bad or forecasted to be bad, you get an alternate airport. It's a regulation. Every company has it, just part of flying, and it's for obvious reasons. Well, if you can't land at the intended destination, you have to have enough fuel to be able to get to another spot. So it's called an alternate airport, and basically we're on the kind of the gray area fence if we needed one. Thunderstorms were in the area, they're in the vicinity. We didn't get one originally, but we asked for one, which ends up making it we need more fuel. So the fuel had to come over from Memphis and fuel us up like 10,000 more pounds of gas, so we would be legal and have that alternate. So we didn't end up using the alternate. We landed in Philly, it all worked out, but ironically enough, because we took that little bit of delay, it actually had the weather getting worse and worse upon our arrival. So we landed 27 right, and there was weather kind of creeping in, thunderstorms all around the area, but we made it work. We got in. Landing grade, 8.7 out of 10, no complaints, just could always be a little bit softer, you know, but we'll go with 8.7 out of 10. It was a nice one. And a first timer for me, at least in a long time, I can't remember. On frequency, we're with New York Center, I believe it was, getting handed off to Philly approach. And guess who I hear over the radio? Air Force One. How freaking cool. Now, we're not on this channel to talk politics at all, but just being able to hear that call sign, iconic, legendary call sign, Air Force One, you may or may not know, is not just for the plane itself, but it's only used when the president's actually on board. So the president was flying into DC somewhere, I'm sure, into, I think it's Davis Air Force Base they use for the home of the 747 back and forth with the president. So pretty cool to hear the pilots of Air Force One checking in, descending, getting clearances, Air Force One, descend and maintain 210. So I thought that was pretty neat to hear. But landed in Philly, the weather, like I said, we had this cell right around the airport that we had to like kind of duck and dive in, and then landed flaps 25, runway 27 right. Decent job, and I think the rain has now subsided, so I'm gonna go out. It's not so late as it was last time I was here. Get a quick bite to eat, and we have an early wake up tomorrow, 5:40 a.m. local, so that's no fun, but we'll get some food and then we'll get ready for bed. Good morning, beautiful people, from the same ramp as yesterday. We're in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. There's an Airbus 310, I believe. There's the Boeing 767. We're about to fly to Memphis, and maintenance is out here. As you can tell, that's not supposed to be like that, but they're just fixing a light. I believe it's the strobe light. So the strobe light's the white one that blinks. That's required for night flying specifically, so you can see other airplanes. That's the nav light. The left wing is red, the right wing is green. You learn that in private pilot. I just realized I wasn't pointing to anything right there. That's the nav light, that's the strobe light. So they're fixing the strobe, trying to at least. That's why they got the maintenance hangar and chair out here. But we just pre-flighted. We got about an hour prior to departure. Pilot monitoring today, in my last leg with this captain. We landed in Memphis, and then we got our medical today. So every year, pilots have to get a medical certificate if you're under the age of 40, which I am. I know, hard to tell, but I'm under 40. So I have a AME, Aviation medical examiner. I'll be going to see in Memphis, grab my car, and we'll head out to the medical examiner. So hopefully we're on time, hopefully smooth ride, and hopefully I don't have much stress and my heart rate's good, so that when I go to the doctor, I pass. So hopefully that all goes well, and next stop will be Memphis. made it nice and early to Memphis, Tennessee. We're like 45 minutes early, which is nice, but that just means I had 6 hours until my next trip. My next flight leg is going to be Memphis to Minneapolis. New captain, said goodbye to the captain I just flew with. Good flight, easy, smooth, clear, on time, no traffic, no issues. And we landed runway 27, which is the east-west runway here in Memphis, and got to our gate and another sleep room. So the 6 hours can kind of stink, but I'm someone, if you've been following me for a while, who likes to keep it moving. So we got some edits to do. So we got the laptop. But more importantly, we got our FAA medical. So every 6 months, if you're over the age of 40, you have to get an FAA medical exam to be an airline pilot. If you're under the age of 40, myself, you have to do it once a year. So I'm still doing it once a year. I've been to this AME, Aviation Medical Examiner, once before. I usually go to one near JFK, but the way my schedule worked, I had to do it here in Memphis. Company pays for it up to a certain amount. I think the company covers like up to $350. My medical will be like $250 this time around, because I have to get my first ever EKG. When you hit 35, spoiler alert, that's how old I am, you have to get your first EKG. So that adds some to the billing, but again, still will be under the stipend that we're allowed to have. So I use the company credit card, won't cost me anything. It's required for us to have medicals to go flying. It's just a white piece of paper. Once I'm at the AME's office, I'll show you. I don't think he's gonna let me film in there, but it's pretty easy. Nothing to really stress about. They just go over, certain items, certain things, vision, hearing, heart, and make sure you're healthy and obviously capable of flying. So we'll change out of the pilot uniform, we'll grab the car, and we'll get our 6 hour kind of day over started here with the Aviation yearly medical. All right, almost done. Did the vision, haven't met with the doctor yet. Did my blood pressure, my first ever, drum roll please, EKG. I have no idea how to read this, but it took like 2 seconds. Hooked me up, did a little reading. And since I'm 35, like I said, I have to get my first one. And then when I'm 40, I'll get another one. And then from there on, it's once every year. I need to get a medical twice a year. So almost done. Hopefully we pass. All right, folks, we did it. We passed the medical. This is what it looks like. Every pilot carries one on them. There's my middle name if you're ever curious. This is first class. That means it's like the most restrictive or the hardest one to get, for lack of a better term. They got my weight, sex, limitations, none. This is where, like, if you need to wear glasses, that would good, but my vision's good enough. The doctor signs it, and off we go. Conditions of use. The holder of the certificate must, and then all these things. These are all the FAR, Federal Aviation Regulations. So another year, we passed, we're good to go. You also do a urine test. I don't think they test for drugs in the urine. I think it's more for like diseases and stuff, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't do drugs, so I don't really worry about it. But either way, another year checked off the list. Now we're gonna get some food, get a workout in, somehow try to run in this 100-degree hot humidity day here in Memphis, and then we'll get ready for Minneapolis in a little bit. Just finished a nice lunch at Whole Foods. Now we're back at the Flight Ops Center. For whatever reason, I'm out in the 100-degree weather because I want to get a nice little run in outside instead of inside on the treadmill, because you already know, folks, it's not negotiable. Training program calls for 4 miles. That's what we're going to try to do. For all those who have donated to my charity cause, thank you, really, from the bottom of my heart. Really means a lot. If you haven't, and you have $1 to spare and you want to put money towards a great charity and cause and help me raise money for Children's Aid for the New York City Marathon coming up in November, which I'll be running alongside SJ, my girlfriend. Link is in the description below. Every dollar counts. I appreciate it. But we're going to try to get in our 4 miles around the airport real quick before we get ready. So wish me luck on this one. Hot. Freaking hot. Heart rate is up. We're getting it done though, folks. Let's go. Let's go. Beautiful people from the hot ramp in Memphis. Barely survived that run, but we got it done. Just pre-flight of the 767. We're taking her up to Minneapolis. A lot of weather near the destination, so they filed us to go west, then north, and then try to hit the back side of the storm. I want to show you guys something real quick before I hop in the flight deck. The
the air cart. So what the company's trying to do is save some money by having an external air cart hooked up to the airplane and provide air into the flight deck. Unfortunately, it's so hot. I was just in there, it doesn't really cool it down too much. So the APU air definitely provides a little bit more air. So if you're at the gate ever and you're sweating, they may or may not have an air cart hooked up, but it's more likely that the APU is not on. But we got hopefully under 2 hours with the weather. I'll be pilot monitoring. Next stop is Minneapolis. Let's go fly.
Minneapolis, the Twin Cities. I believe it's called the Twin Cities because Minneapolis is a different city than St. Paul. And I'm guessing they look the same. I don't know. That's what I'm going with. If you know or you're from here, let me know. But you guys saw the flight plan. So our flight was supposed to be 2 hours long, ended up being 2.5 because of the routing they gave us because of the weather. So I have it conveniently pulled up. We departed Memphis on time, all good, and then we went it was even more than this. Initially we were supposed to go out even more west. We got a shortcut to EMP Emporia, I think the name of the VOR is, yep, in Kansas. And then we started going northbound, so we flew like pretty much directly west to avoid the weather. This has since been updated, but you can tell why they had us going all the way out there because of this gnarly thunderstorm that luckily, once we got to Minnie, had passed. So as you can see out the window, it's just kind of overcast. We broke out, we had to shoot the ILS to runway 12 right, captain's leg, did a nice job. And we broke out around like 900 feet for the runway with that weather. But yeah, we had to go freaking really far west, and it made for just like a longer flight, but part of the job. I'm tired though, because that run in 100-degree weather in Memphis, freaking 4 miles, gassed me. And then I just showered, got ready, and then was out on the plane, out on the ramp. So definitely tired, long day. It's one last night away from home. These 5-day trips can add up quick though. It's only 3 nights away, especially with the deadhead to Newark, but still, when you don't do them that often, or I guess I used to do them more frequently, I understand why I like being home so much. But try to find some dinner around here, but I want to get to bed. I got a few things I got to do, a few emails to answer, and then I want to get to bed, get some sleep, because last night I only got I slept good in Philly, but like 6 hours of sleep. I want to try to get closer to that premium 8. So we'll find some food and then get ready for bed in Minneapolis.
Beautiful people, finally a morning where I'm not sweating. Nice and crisp, cool here in Minneapolis. Overcast skies, so we enter in the clouds pretty early. It'll be my leg to fly. Last one of the trip. Our 5-day trip is coming to an end. Minneapolis, MSP to MEM, Memphis, and we're all done. We got over an hour until we're departing out of here, nice and early. We got an MD-11 and a Airbus 300, our beautiful 767. Haven't started loading yet. Here's a little fun fact. These are called chalks. So like chalk on a chalkboard. So they put these in there, even though the airplane's not gonna hopefully go anywhere, but this is to prevent it from going anywhere. So if it rolls anywhere, you always see these outside, and then the ground crew pulls them away from the tires. So when we get pushed back, obviously we don't do it, because what they want to do is they take the parking brake off while the airplane's sitting here. They don't want those discs and the hydraulics and all that stuff being used for hours on end while the airplane's sitting overnight. So you always see airplanes with chalks on them. If you're ever sitting at the gate and you look over at the other airplane next to you and it's not going anywhere anytime soon, or the parking brake's not set, the chalks have to be in. So we got, I think it's like just under 2 hours, 1:59, relatively eastbound heading So we'll be flying at an odd altitude. I believe it was 35,000 feet. Flight plan should be up here any minute. And yeah, hopefully it's a good day to go fly. Well, it is a good day to go fly because I'm flying. So stay tuned for the landing rating. Next stop is Memphis. Let's go. Hello folks from Memphis Airport. We're actually at the passenger terminal because I landed a little bit ago over there. Taxi to our gate, good flight. My landing, runway 36 left. We're gonna go with a little bit of tailwind on landing. Still was able to handle it though. We're gonna go with a 8.3 out of 10 today. Nicely done. Maybe had the reversers come out, thrust reversers a little bit early, so the nose wheel came down a little bit firmer than I would want it to, but otherwise, very satisfying flight from Minnie to Memphis. No complaints, no problems. Fun thing though, pulling into our gate, the airplane in front of us was an MD-11, and there were 2 fire trucks next to the gate as it was pulling in, and they did a water cannon salute, so we got to see the fire truck shooting the water hose over the airplane. For those who may not know, that signifies, the captain's last flight. It's like a sign off. It's a send off. It's been tradition for I don't know how long. I don't know how it started. I don't know why it started, but it is. So I don't know the captain. I didn't even see him, but his family was out there. They I think came in from Hawaii because they had a bunch of lays around them, but they're taking pictures, all that kind of stuff. So it's cool that the company, the airport, obviously the fire department operations here in the field were nice enough to kind of get that for the captain. I'm sure they have some cool videos. So you'll see every once in a while, if you're lucky, they'll pull into the gate. There'll be 2 fire trucks like on either side, and they'll do this water cannon salute again to signify the end of a career, hopefully a good one for that pilot. But that wraps up my 5-day trip. Finally done. Finally can take this off. I just got through KCM, boarding for LaGuardia here in about 20 minutes or so. Confirmed seat using my travel bank money, so very happy with that. I don't have to worry about jump seating or just getting crammed in the seat. I got Delta Economy, I think, Economy Plus or Comfort Plus, I think they call it. So yeah, as always, I hope you enjoyed the trip. This is a long one, like I said, for me, 5 days, but paid pretty well. The deadhead to start the trip out of Newark was great. All good captains, all good flights, a little bit delays here and there because of weather, but we pushed through it. And as always, if you have any comments or questions, throw them below. Hit me up on Instagram at pilotpete.fly. Just make sure you follow me first so I can see them first, so I can actually see the message. And I'll be back as of now next week. I got a deadhead to Boston, I think it is. So maybe we'll get some downtown Boston shots. I'm gonna go enjoy the weekend. I hope you do the same. As always, be well, and I'll see you on the next one.